Hello guys, this is Quad. Today I'm bringing you the first character review from the patch PTR 2.4 and this is Martial Arts Assassin. Mostly Phoenix Strike, Blades of Ice, Claws of Thunder and Fire Claws. You can see the damage is pretty decent and you will see my gear a little bit later. She can deal lots of damage in different elements and this is actually really cool. One important part here is the Dragon Talon, of course, because it does free kicks, so releasing free charges. This is the change that allowed us now to accumulate free charges and then release separately all three, which really feels amazing. In the Shadow Disciplines, all the basics, 1 point wonders, you can maybe spend on some others as well, and nothing in the traps. With the stats, I have somewhat okay resistances and this is one of the problems with her, but also I think the characters on PTR don't have Anya quest confirmed, so like minus 30 resistances. I have enough strength to equip the Monarch or Storm Shield and dexterity for decent block amount and high chance to hit, plus also many claws require lots of dexterity. As for the gear, I combined basically what they gave us. I chose the Draco's Grasp for the Life Tap proc, Bartux, Shaco, Enigma, Arachnid, Bulkathos Wedding Band, Ravenfrost, Mara, Armed, Storm Shield and Gore Riders, simply because there are no better boots. Call to Arms on a swap that rolled perfectly 3-1 and Spirit. Have only 2 charms for the martial arts and the rest all resistances just to compensate the Anya quest. Mercenary is wearing Infinity of course, and Andariel's Visage, and then just the armor that was there, Durio's Shell. Of course you can min-max and optimize a lot the gear that you see. What I like a lot about this build is that you can actually go from the all-rounder Shaco to Griffons if you want to run Claws of Thunder, Flickering Flame for the fire build, Night Wings for the cold one, and maybe for extra safety even use Crown of Ages. Now let's look at the farming spots that I ran just to showcase you the build. So first was of course the pits. It's one of the easiest areas to run I think, and actually I was surprised how great it is. And just to jump a little bit ahead, I also did run it without Infinity and it was pretty great, so this area was not causing any problems. So you can see now the main way to actually play this martial arts assassin is that you put one of those Phoenix Strikes or any other charging skill on the right click. You can just have the right mouse button down so that she will just run onto enemies and start attacking them, and then as soon as you get free of them you click left mouse button so that with a kick you release all 3 charges. So now because one hit consumes only 1 charge, with kick you do 3 kicks, so you consume all 3 charges, so you basically release a lot of damage on every charge skill. This is pretty cool. Also you will see a little bit later that you can actually accumulate charges from like 5 different skills and then release them all at once with 1 kick. This is pretty amazing. You will see it right here. It's really flavorful to play this build and I was actually surprised how great it is. It feels really nice and also deals decent damage, just look at this. So I was surprised to see that I actually ran this beat in like less than 2 minutes, which is pretty awesome. I know she has Infinity already on the Merc, but also without Infinity you don't see a lot of problems because monsters here don't have a lot of resistances. Also I tried some bosses, Andariel, maybe with Gore Riders. I thought with Kick, with Crashing Blow will be good, but it wasn't still feeling really great. So she is not particularly nice boss killer, although they still die quite quick. The new area, the Stony Tomb, is also really good. Here I would even suggest maybe using the Feast of Fire, because monsters don't have fire res here, so they really die very quick. Although it took me a little bit of time to find this place, but still I would say it's really nice to run. Nothing really causing problems here except the beetles because of the lightning bursts, and again, this is a problem of not having resistances on this PTR. With better boots and with Anya quest completed you will have resistances capped, maybe also with a torch later on, you won't have any issues at all. You can see everything dies really quick, and once again I just want to highlight how really nice to play this build. It used to be before such a big difference before you can deal damage, and you would need to charge up those skills, then release it once, then do it again, and now you deal enough damage to basically get rid of a pack immediately. The same happened in the Ancient Thanos. Everything is really nice, and here you have really possibility to kind of adjust a little bit on the way. So if you get Invader, it's better to get something with a cold damage and avoid fire damage, and otherwise for everything else you can use the Fists of Fire for massive fire damage that just explodes them all. So this is again one of the cool parts of this build, that you don't get bored, but also it's not tedious. So as soon as you learn a little bit of resistances here and there, you can actually utilize all 4 skills to your advantage. So to this point, actually I wanted to say that Phoenix Strike has the best AoE, so you can see then later with the Chaos and Chaos Sanctuary that there will be a lot of area covered with those explosions from lightning and from cold. Although the other 3 have a little bit less AoE, but they do targeted damage, which you then, as I said, can, for example, maximize using the Griffin's Eye or Nightwings or Flickering Flame for fire, and as well other weapons. In the Chaos Sanctuary I had to say that yeah, she can do it, but it feels a little bit squishy and not so confident. Even with Infinity, which I would say on players 1, Infinity is a huge investment, so build should really be able to destroy everything. But I think in the Chaos Sanctuary monsters are tougher and it's really hard to get them down. It takes a little bit, although as I said, I could do it. Maybe it took like 4 minutes probably to clear it, but I didn't clear Diablo in the end, I think. So yeah, it's viable, but you would need probably support from somebody or better gear with more skillers. The early farming spots like Eldritch, Pindle, the Thresh sockets, you see they die immediately. Shank has the same thing. So basically what I wanted to say about this build, I really liked it, it's really flavorful, it feels great. The only problems here I see, like from the farming perspective, is it's really hard to accumulate a lot of MF because you need to cover absolutely resistances and also use damage reduction skills because you will be in the middle of everything. So I use Storm Shield for this and Shaco. Then also it is really hard to leech with this build. And by the way, you can actually see here, even without a mercenary, I was able to deal with Chaos, and maybe not as great as some other builds, but also decently. You see that a huge pack dies pretty quick. So I was talking about Leech. It's really hard because claws don't deal a lot of damage, and even with like 20% life leech you will not have that many physical damage to get back. So that's why I'm using the Dracos for the life tap procs, and she becomes them basically invulnerable. Nothing can get her down. And as I mentioned already, yeah, the stacking MF will be a little bit difficult, so the Shaco Enigma and maybe like a perfect top ace in Shaco, that will be probably maybe East Rune in the Bartux or something, so that will bring you to somewhere just slightly over 200 or close. That's pretty okay, but still could be a little bit better, of course. And yeah, otherwise from the disadvantages, I don't think there are any. Of course it's a bit expensive, because you need Enigma and Infinity, but which build doesn't? And from the advantages, I have to say that I really enjoyed playing it, and I cleared all the areas that you see in this video in 23 minutes, which is pretty amazing. So yeah, tell me how you like it and what you think about this build if you tried it. So thank you so much and see you next time.